Hi guys, today I wanted to share some Escape from Tarkov tips with you that I wish I had when I was a new player. I mostly learned by myself, watching guides and running solos, and it was pretty brutal at times, but I managed to pull through, and hopefully some of these tips I learned can save you some of the trouble. A good example of some of the trouble I had was using lasers. There's quite a few guides out there on using IR lasers to increase your hipfire accuracy, but something just didn't click with me. I was running these lasers in the visible spectrum with the laser off, thinking that I couldn't see it, so it was the IR laser. I actually learned later in the game that you can press Ctrl T to change the mode of the laser and then keep it on and it still won't be visible. Instead, you'll just have like a little red spotlight. I saw streamers doing this, I watched the guides, and for some reason I just never realized that it was Ctrl T that I was missing. So that brings me to our first tip: watch the right content for you. If you're like me, then you want to learn all the little details of a subject to get the full picture. If this is the case, you probably shouldn't watch a video on how to learn X, Y, and Z in 45 seconds. It's kind of the same case with bigger streamers. While watching content creators like Landmark is really entertaining and they're very good at the game, you really have to know what's going on to learn anything from them. I know Geeksay got into content creation for similar reasons, and I highly recommend checking him out and other content creators that really break things down like Crashed or Karmika. Another reason to find a smaller creator is their chats move so much slower. I see people regularly ask pestily questions and get told to go ask a smaller streamer because he can't keep up with the chat. I'm not saying don't go watch the top streamers and players. I've learned lots about movement and PvP and just general game knowledge from them. The point I'm trying to make is to try and diversify who you watch. Now, this video isn't going to be all about advertising content creators that I like. My next tip for you is about stash management. It's very easy as a new player to become a hoarder. The best advice I got when I was new is only keep what you will use in the next 2 days and sell the rest. This is solid advice, but I wanted to expand on it. I've kicked myself so many times for selling found and raid items that I ended up needing for a task down the road. There's a bunch of lists floating around on every item needed for task or hideout upgrades, but I found them to be overwhelming and fill up a standard edition stash very quickly. So I say keep the use in 2 days or sell rule unless it's found and raid for a task. Prioritize tasks in the near future, difficult to find items, and smaller items if you're running low on space. The only exception is if you're under level 10 and have items that sell on the flea market for crazy amounts of money. You can use tarkovmarket.com, which is linked in the description if you want to check for these items, but I really wouldn't focus on it if I was you. My next tip is to run both solo and team raids. Like I previously mentioned, my first weeks in Tarkov were spent solo, and it was not always a fun time. I probably spent more time watching Escape from Tarkov on Twitch with my scav on cooldown than I did in raid. While solos are really difficult, they are the best way to learn about the game. A lot of new players buy the game just to play with their friends, but they end up only playing with friends, the same friends. This is a good way to learn at first, but really slows down once you only play with the same people and never run solos or with different groups. Even if you're taking budget loadouts on your solos, I can't recommend it enough. Save your thick gear for group raids where someone can probably dump it if you die, and just jump in solo. I found it really helpful to join some Escape from Tarkov communities on Discord, Reddit, and other social media platforms. I'm probably in 5 different EFT Facebook groups, 15 Discords, on the subreddit all the time, and browsing Twitter all day. It's extremely helpful to get questions answered, learn a lot about meta gear, and keep up with the updates, but also to meet other players and learn their different strategies. Just a reminder for you guys, there's a ton of links and resources in the description of this video, and if you're enjoying, you want to see more guides or just more shenanigans, be sure and subscribe. Thanks. If you have ever been overwhelmed by all the different types of ammo and armor in Escape from Tarkov, then I highly recommend the Battle Buddy app. Battle Buddy is made by Veritas and contains all the different types of ammo and tools to compare them against each other and armor. It's really helpful to learn the ammo types and build your kits. Generally, you want to go for high penetration ammo, but you can always run leg meta kits with high damage. Just because the ammo doesn't have high penetration doesn't mean it's not usable. Guns with high rate of fire can sling high damage rounds and zero armor almost as fast as others can penetrate. This app doesn't have all the answers in it, but it is a good tool for you to find the answers and really learn the game. You should plan out your loadouts so when you find the thick boys in raid, you know where to shoot. This app is packed full of features and I don't have time to cover them all, but it's well worth a download. Thanks Veritas for making it available to everyone. Speaking of ammo, did you know that your weapon 0 is based on the velocity of your ammo that you take into raid? This means slower velocity ammo will hit much lower and higher velocity will hit above the crosshair. This isn't an issue 90% of the time, especially if you're spraying an SMG, so go ahead and mix all the 9x19 caliber rounds you want. However, if you're sniping or shooting at a distance, it's best to stick to one type of round. This caused me quite a few headaches and a lot more missed shots on sniper scabs. So that about does it. You're not going to be able to learn this game from just watching a tutorial, but hopefully these tools help you have an easier time than I did figuring things out. It's really awesome to see what the community has created and shared to help other new players learn the game. I really encourage you to join in, whether it's just asking for advice or joining up for some duos and trios. So now that you have some more tools to learn the game, can't wait to see you in Raid.